Assalamualaikum and good day. This tutorial shows you how to create a program for read name and marks from numbers of students and store them in a file. This is example of output. Enter number of students, for example 3, and then this is example of input that we need to key in. Enter name, summary, enter marks 100, key for the second student Ali, enter marks for Alice 29, enter for student number 3 Abu 100. Once I enter the program, so the program will create a new file, and this all information will be stored in the text file. In the current directory, student mark is the file that already created by using the C programming in the code block. Once we open the file, these are the information that we key in by using the code that we ran just now. Number of students is 3, names together with the marks. Now we start our programming. But before that, we must aware that regarding this tutorial, we should have the knowledge of the basic file operation, array, and also pointer. First thing, we need to declare a suitable variable for this program. Variable declaration. So we say there is an input that we need to key in, name and also the mark. So we need to set the name of the student, the size of the character is 60, then data type for the marks is integer marks, variable I for the looping, and so number will be used to enter numbers of students for the program. Next, from the user to key in number of students by using printf function, enter number of students using scanf to read the input from the keyboard. %d represent data type for the num, ampersand symbol num. Next step is we declare the file declaration. So in this step, you need to use a pointer. Since file is a pointer, so we need to specify data type for this variable declaration is file. Instead of character integer, we're gonna use file. Star fptr is a user-defined variable. You can name it as a f, you can name it as a p, and so on. Fptr is a standard variable in other example. The next step, we need to open the file. So fptr is a file pointer equal to fopen is a function in order to open the function, in order to open the file. So here we need to use double quotes, comma, and double quote here again. So the first double quote here represent the name of the file that we want to read or we want to create. For example, student.txt. Make sure that you put the name of the file and the extension of the file, comma, then put W for the write access for the file. So means that, so once we run the program, this program will create a new file with name student.txt. The next step is file handling. So why we need to have file handling here? Because we want to make sure that the file doesn't have any errors. If the file doesn't exist, so we must have some indicator that this file cannot be opened. So here we need to use the if-else function. F ptr file pointer is equal to null, meaning that the program cannot find this file. Then we need to print out some output here. For example, error in opening the file. Then we exit the program by using this function, exit function. So once this condition is not true, and then the program will do the next step, which is the operations. So otherwise, so we can key in the information I equal to 0, I is less than the number of student, which is the variable is none, I plus plus for the increment, and here is the operation, or we call it as a input for the program by using the printf function and also scanf function. So printf, let's say we do some formatting here for student number 1, enter name, comma, and here we want to specify the numbering for each iteration using the for looping. So I plus 1. So here we will have for student 1, 0 plus 1, and so on. Scanf to read the input from the keyboard, %s, comma, and %name. Then we design for the next input, which is enter marks, for the students, scanf %d that represent the integer for the name variable, and %marks, right? So we already have here two inputs, name and also marks. The next step here, while we are still in the for loopings, is how we can write this information, the current information for the name and also marks, into the text file that we have created in the student.txt. For example, name here is Zamri and marks is 100. So you want to store Zamri and 100 into the student.txt file. So here we're going to use another function that we call fprintf. So here we write the name and marks in the file for current student info. So here we're going to use fprintf function. So the difference is only we have the f that stands for the file, and we want to print write the output, sorry, the input from this variable, and we want to store this variable values into the file. So we're going to have here which file that we want to store. So basically we have already here file pointer. This file pointer contains the path for the file student.txt, and we're going to have the formatting, how the data should be looks like in the text file. So for example, you put here %s for the first input name, comma, %d for the second input that represent the marks, and we must to put here selection in order to create a new line in the text file. So comma, then we need to specify the variable here, name and also marks. Right? So already done regarding the for loopings here. Try to look again. So this is the first input, student's name, second input, student's marks, and still inside the for looping here, we have another statement that represent writing the name and also marks of the current students into the text file. And lastly, while we are opening the file, we want to make sure that the open file is closed. So we're going to have another function where we call fclose, and then we need to specify which file that we want to close. So in this example, we want to close fptr, right? So we try to run the program. No errors, right? So we have some output here, enter number of students, let's say for example 3. Enter student number 1, Mina, marks is 88. Student number 2, Azima, marks is 75. And student number 3 is Aliman with 100. So once we are enter the program, so meaning that we already ended the looping. In the current directory of your program, so you will see that there is additional file that already created by the copload, which is student.txt. This file we already set in the coding. The name of the file is student.txt, and while we are opening this file, you can see that this the information that being recorded. As you can see here, this is the file that we opened, and we can see that there are 3 students information, students name and also student marks. Amina 88, Azima 75, and Azimat 100 that we are key in by using the program created just now. So I will revise again what we are doing right now. So here we are programmed to read the name and marks of the students marks and store them in a file. So first of all, you need to identify the suitable variable for this program, name and also the marks, and suitable other variables that for the processing, for example I, that will be used in the looping together with the num here in order to key in how many number of students for the records. So the next step, we need to have the file declarations, and we design the file names is as a fptr, and then we open the file by using this function fopen function, and we need to specify the name of the file. Let's say for example student.txt, and double here is the access of the file, means that this is stand for the writing. So if the file is exist, so this statement will not be executed because we already have a file existed here. So the next step is looping in order to key in the information for the student name and the student marks. First input and also the second input, and we are still in the same looping here by we are writing the current information name, student's name and mark into the file. So what will be happen if we run the program again by using different input? Previously we entered 3 students, let's say we enter two students, Ali 100, and we have the second one, Abu 99. Once we close the program and we open, while we open the student.txt, we can see that the previous record has been removed and replaced by the latest information, Ali 100 and Abu 99. So what is happening here, because we are using W access mode, which is whenever we close the program and run the program again, it will remove all information in the existing file with the new record. So in your program, you make sure that you need to design, either you need to use read and write, read only or write only for your case. Thank you very much.